and thank you everyone for attending this session on a Friday afternoon. So yeah, with Geheugen van Nederland, or Memory of the Netherlands, we create actually heritage collections relevant for everyone. And we also do that without excluding anyone. And today we tell you how and why we actually do this. Yeah, so instead of pulling, we actually successfully deliver the collections of archives, museums, and institutions to the audience, and we excite them for digital cultural heritage. Little in short about us, I'm Tal Groemen. I'm a campaign manager of Geheugen van Nederland. I work at Sound Vision in the Netherlands. Today is not here Nienke van Schavenbeek. She's product manager at Sound Vision. But today my colleague Miriam at the National Library, we also tell something more about Geheugen van Nederland. Maybe Miriam, can you already say hi? People can already see you.
Hi, everyone.
Perfect. Perfect. So, yeah, today I will tell you shortly about the Dutch Digital Heritage Network, what the campaign actually is and why we do it, for whom we do it. And then Miriam will also tell you more about how we put this actually into practice. And of course, we will finalize the presentation with some conclusions. And yeah, the Dutch Netwerk Digitaal Erfgoed. It's actually, in short, heritage, education, and research institutions are forming together the Digital Heritage Network. And together with software suppliers, municipalities, provinces, we are actually implementing the Dutch National Strategy of Digital Heritage. And this is also supported by the Ministry of Education, Culture, and Science. And Geheugen van Nederland, or the Memory of the Netherlands, is one of the activities that contribute to the national strategy of digital heritage. And well, I will tell you why we do what we actually do. We really want to increase public use and appreciation of connected digital cultural heritage for the public. And current research also and campaign results show actually that there is a high level of interest in digital heritage online and on social channels. And the campaign messages were already shown more than 40 million times in a year, in 1 year, to more than 4.5 million people in the Netherlands, actually. The average interaction or engagement percentage is above 7%, and that's pretty high. And we even got a click-through rate from the campaign website of 12%. And also we really like this number because that's how the institutions also make profit of the campaign. We have now also built a community of followers on Facebook and more than 5,000 already on Instagram. And those numbers are still growing. Our institutional mission is actually providing the facilities to institutions to increase the use, visibility, and appreciation of, well, the connected cultural digital heritage. And what you see here is actually all institutions who are participating with the campaign. And well, here are just a few randomly highlighted. You'll see a very wide variety of types of institutions. And that's actually exactly what we're trying to do, because we, thanks to this variety and diversity of institutions, and therefore the stories, we already have shared more than 100 stories since the start of the campaign. And that's really what we love to do. Already more than 62 institutions have joined and contributed, and more than 110 institutions have actually expressed an interest in participating in the upcoming future. So what do we actually mean with a campaign? We already said we want to make heritage relevant for everyone. And yes, we do that with an online public campaign. It's a place actually where digital collections of different institutions meet each other on one platform, and we create a place for our collective memory. Yeah, it is a place where digital collections getting a national stage, and let's see how it looks. So as said, we are a campaign visible on Facebook, Instagram, and the campaign website. And our target audience is the end user, is that's the general public. But beyond that, yeah, that's where the institutions are. And these are actually the heritage institutions, large, small, local, or very specific collection holders. It could be every kind of yeah, institution, and without them there is actually not a campaign. So we're really happy to have the institutions on board. But to actually run this campaign and support all collection holders, we have a passionate team that brings together these stories of yeah, of institutions. Yeah, the editors are actually assigned to the National Library, and we work with a content agency which helps us as well to use well, to put these publications on social media. And also because Memory of the Netherlands is for all Dutch, the editors are supported per theme or by a theme editor, and also a diversity and inclusion advisor from the field. And that really helps us to create a very diverse, diverse teams actually. And Sound and Vision, that's where I work, has embraced the campaign as well, and the campaign management has been invested over there. Well, a little bit more about social media, because as we know it today, it may not everything be perfect yet, but with time regulations and legislations, yeah, well, social media will continue to evolve into more mature platforms than they are maybe today. At least we hope so. But in the meantime, we do have to recognize that these platforms are yeah, offer us many opportunities and possibilities, and that's for those who have something to say, to tell, but as well for people who want to listen. And well, with the public campaign, we are therefore actively reaching out to the public, and that's how we actually consciously have chosen the route via Facebook and Instagram, because we are actually convinced of the impact we can make there on the general public, and we bring heritage to where the people are. Okay, yeah, what does it actually look like? Enough with the talking. Yeah, well, still we reach our audience through social media. We share stories of institutions through our social platforms. For example, here you see on Facebook how our timeline looks like, but also an example over here, which is a special story of Fukje Dilemma. It's from the collection of the National Archive. And it's actually a story of a professional top athlete. And she won a lot of races in 1950, but she refused to participate in a gender examination. And like you see here, when we share stories like this, we get very much substantive responses. And yeah, from people within the community we have built. And also you see that the audience exchanges a lot of ideas with each other over here about how they experience this, or what they think about it. So you see there's a lot of engagement, interaction on the content of the National Archive, and that's what we are trying to do. We also share stories on Instagram, like we do here, with a video of Sound and Vision about the Beatles coming to the Netherlands. Yeah, an insane public came to greet and wave them. I bet I was there as well if I were if I was there. We shared the story as part of the music team. We also support, as told, with the campaign with a campaign website, in which you will find the stories actually that go more into further detail and link to the collections of the institutions. And actually, the audience journey looks like this. So as you see, the audience that we reach via social, they go to the website of our platform or the institutional website. And that's the background about the campaign. And I think Miriam can tell us more about the editor's formula.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Miriam. I'm one of the two editors at Memory of the Netherlands. And in the next few moments, I would like to tell you a bit more about how we work as editors. So what do we do? Or at least what we try to do is to collect special and inclusive stories based on our digitized heritage, which are interesting for a broader public. As Tal already told you, this is not about highbrow research facilities or complicated image databases. This is about bringing digitized heritage to the public. And we as editors collect the stories and images of all the different kinds of heritage. So newspapers, archives, objects, photos, movies, and we provide them with a background story in a very uncomplicated way. For example, this photo, you could ask, what is so special about this photo? It's just a street and with two ancient cars and some people, some children playing. But it's the story behind this photo which is interesting, because this photo was taken in Nagelen. Nagelen is a small village built on in the 50s on what we call new land. So it's in a polder land which is claimed from the sea. And in this region, there were many villages were built in the 50s in this region. But Nagelen is quite special because it's designed by the most promising architects of that time. For example, by Gerrit Rietveld, which you might know of the famous Rietveld chair. And an extra fun fact is that one of these houses from the 50s is a museum hotel. So if you want to, you can spend a night in a 50s house with a 50s interior and 50s facilities. But where to start? Because there's so much heritage and there are so many stories. So to organize a workflow, we select 4 themes every year. And every 3 months we work on one theme, which means that we as editors try to find stories and digitized heritage belonging to this theme. For example, our newest theme is about housing. And we have found various stories about housing for the rich, housing for the poor, about building houses special for women, or about the renovation of the bigger cities like Amsterdam, who tried to get rid of the slums and trying to improve the living conditions of the inhabitants. But besides trying to find all these stories ourselves, we ask the heritage institutions if they can think with us and if they can send us their stories and their digitized heritage, which means that at a certain moment we've got quite a long list of stories, of which we select 10 to 15 of them for sharing on our website and on social. And we always check. We always make absolutely sure that there are no copyright issues, and that and the next step is to publish those stories on websites and on social. Let me see these. This is an overview of the themes we selected for previous year and for this year, and we try to select different kinds of themes so that all kinds of stories, heritage, and institutions can contribute and participate. And this year we focused on inventions, on love, on living, and our final theme for this year will be food. And there is always room for stories outside these themes, stories about current events or about, Tour de France or things which are happening, and we want to select as well. So now I will show you an example. This is a story about a story from our theme about sport heroes, and it's about Orhan Delibas. He's a Dutch boxer, and he was born in Turkey and moved to the Netherlands as a small child. And he started boxing when he was about 9 years old. His nickname was the Turkish Delight, and he participated at the Olympics in 1992 and even made it to the finals, being one of the first Dutch boxers doing that in a very long time. So all of a sudden, this young man became, he became a national hero because was a lot of media attention, and he was unknown to the public, but in 1992 he became one of the national sport heroes of the Netherlands. So why did we select this story? Well, we did not want to tell only the most successful stories, not only stories about winners or stories about the all famous Johan Cruyff. We want to tell the more unknown or maybe even forgotten stories. And it's not just about stories, it's also about the heritage, because at the Gelders Archives, which is it's a regional archive institution in the east of the Netherlands, where Orhan lived and still lives, I think. They preserve a video of Orhan. It's a documentary about his life and about his training. And this interview or this documentary was originally on videotape, and it was digitized by the Gelders Archives and made accessible on their website. So we, of the Memory of the Netherlands, we made a story about this, about Orhan Delibas. We shared this story on our website and our socials, and referred to the website of the Gelders Archives. So if people want to watch the documentary, we refer them to the website of the archival institution. And we discovered that well, maybe the story was a bit forgotten. Many people remembered it. I was really touched by all the reactions we got on this post, because many people still remembered the Olympics of 1992 and remembered Orhan. They knew or know him personally. They praise his sports accomplishments. They praise his character. And some people even thanked the Memory of the Netherlands for telling this story. So I think this is a very fine example of bringing heritage to the public. So well, I hope that Tal and I were able to share some of our enthusiasm. We love this campaign because we can bring digitized heritage to the public to a broad public in a very easygoing way, and we do this by telling stories, by telling inclusive stories which are interesting to everyone. And by doing so, more people get to know heritage and will visit the websites of the participating heritage institutions. So back to you, Tal.
Yes, thank you, Miriam. Well, before we round up, a little short about our ambition. So, yeah, connecting the public, institutions, and digital collections. And we provide the public with tools and introduce them to do more with digital collections, actually. And we also facilitating facilities actually for institutions so that they also know how uh, to engage with the public independently as well. And yeah, and that's actually that we inspire actually institutions to look at existing collections also differently. So in short, we are a public campaign by and for the institutions with digital collections actually, and with which we reach a really large audience and introduce them to work more actively with heritage and digital collections of the institutions. So, Geheugen van Nederland sounds very geheugen, very Dutch for its memory of the Netherlands, contributes to the visibility and appreciation of digital collections and the institutions. Thank you very much for listening. And yeah, if there are any questions, we would like to hear them.
Thank you. That was indeed a very interesting overview of this interesting project. Let me see in the chat if there are any questions. There is lots of praise for your initiative. There was also a person from Wales, I think, who was bringing up a similar project.
Nice. I'm really interested what the name is, so I can look it up.
Yeah, it's called peoplescollection.wales.
Peoplescollection.wales.
Yeah, so you can't miss it. Here's a question: do you collaborate with private archives from your country? And there's also a suggestion mentioned: the Endendijk collection.
Until now, we haven't really. Until now, we haven't really done it yet with private collection. Also, it's very important for us that those collections are really digital accessible, actually. So that's also very important for us.
But a private collection could be contacting you and see how they can connect.
It's interesting because we look actually in ways how to connect these. Sometimes these private collections contact us, and maybe some other institutions are also interested to work together, and then we can make it a cooperation actually.
Right.
If we put it together.
Yeah. You need an additional partner. So yeah, I can imagine. There's another question here about funding. Is it publicly funded? How is it Geheugen Nederland funded?
Yes, it's partly publicly funded and also by the knooppunten of the network, the charitable network. How do I translate that? The bigger institutions who are part of the network digital heritage. Yeah.
Okay, so that's, for instance, your own institution, the Institute for Sound and Vision, which is
exactly
one of the main audiovisual institutions. Okay.
Yeah.
Here's another. Sorry, Miriam, you wanted to add something?
No, I wanted to say the same as Tal, that it's the bigger heritage institutions in the Netherlands. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Here's another question. Do you get a lot of new information about collections from the public? Relevant new data, and if, how is this then transformed to archives and museums, the providing institutions? How is it brought back?
I think sometimes we do, right, Tal? That people share their personal memories, or they share extra information, And we always try to, the participating heritage institutions, they can see the reactions on Facebook as well, and we are always in contact with them. So if there's new or extra information, we let the participating heritage institutions know that. Yeah.
Okay, good to know. Another question is, are visual ethnographers, God, that's a difficult word, or visual anthropologists involved?
I haven't
Wow.
worked with them yet. You, Miriam?
No, not yet.
But what I
But I'm
understood
not.
from, sorry, but what I understood from your formula is that you work with the institutions and they provide all the context and the metadata around it, right? So
Yes.
they may work with anthropologists.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
possible. So yeah,
Okay.
we get actually the collections have to be accessible on the websites of the institution, and they are actually they are in charge in how they present it on their own website, and we are actually just put it out on the campaign platform actually.
Okay. And here's another question: what dominated in your work, the technical or the humanities or the education? What's, if I understand the question, what's the main trigger point for Geheugen van Nederland? The fact that was it technically possible, or?
Well, I think that technically it's to connect every collection. That's something still the Dutch Heritage Network still works on, actually, to make sure all collections are all together, and we are really showing actually the public what it is like when things are getting when collections are getting together. But on the technical side, it's still institutions still have to how do you say it, develop these connections, actually. Or do you, can you maybe add, or what do you think it was clear?
Yeah,
Like
well,
this?
I'm not quite sure if I understand the question.
Well, there was an addition from the person. The main drive for the project. What was the main drive? Was it technical? Was it humanities? Was it education?
Okay, I think it's more into the education corner, because what we try to do is to make the public known with that there's so much digitized heritage, and we want to bring them in contact with that, so that if the next time they might think, oh, I've seen this picture, I've seen this archive, which heritage institution knows more about that? So we just want to bring that to the public.
Okay. Interesting. Well, there are no further questions. I think you have been very clear. Thank you very much for presenting this initiative, and good luck with the progress.